Welcome back. It is once again that time for the Sharp versus Swinger NFL picks battle here for week number 9 of the NFL season, cruising right along past the halfway point. And last week I extended my lead on the Swinger, going 2-0, 13-4-1 on the season. The Swinger split a pair, going 1-1, and now is at 10-8 on the year. But I think we got a couple of picks coming up, and I know I like at least one coming from you, Swinger. But talk a little bit about how I'm kicking your butt this week, and B, give me your spread pick while you're at it.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Mr. Sharp. And yes, I just keep on kissing my sister 1-1, and there's absolutely no tongue involved. All right, now listen, I've got two plays here, and I am absolutely going to kill it. Of course, this is our side video, and I've got a sharp side for you, and that happens to be the New Orleans Saints. That's right, New Orleans Saints, as they welcome the Titans to the Superdome. And as you may know, Ken Wisenhunt got cut loose for the Titans, and I absolutely loved his response when asked about his firing. You know, he told the media that the team didn't give him a reason. Didn't give him a reason for his firing. Well, I'm no forensic detective, but, I immediately thought of his 3-23 record since he was hired. But, that couldn't have anything to do with it. All right, so now Mike Mularkey's taken over. He's vowing to protect the defenseless Marcus Mariota by using tight ends to, instead of go out there and catch, to block, and he's going to use tailbacks to pick up blitzers. But I would say that that's great. But you know what? The only problem is that now you're just narrowing his weapons, his potential targets down to his receivers. And quite frankly, they're not all that great. So I just can't see a world where he's going to go down to the Superdome and keep pace with a Drew Brees passing attack, especially since Tennessee is ranked 31st of 32 teams in points allowed. I'm sorry, in points scored. The other thing is, a lot of people are going to look at the Tennessee's number 3 ranked pass defense, okay? Don't let that fool you. That is a mirage, and I'll tell you why. The reason that they only allow 198 passing yards per game is because they're always so far behind that the opposition just runs the ball to kill the clock. If you look inside those numbers, you're going to find that the Titans are in the bottom third of yards per catch allowed against their defense. Now, of course, the Saints don't have a great defense. Otherwise, the spread is going to be about 17-21. But you know what? It doesn't matter because Mariota is not going to be 100% coming into this one. And even if he did, I wouldn't give a damn. All right. What's going to happen is the Saints are going to jump up to maybe 3-touchdown lead, pretty much going to stay there. I'll give you a few numbers. Titans are 2-6 ATS in their last 8 games following an ATS loss, and they're also 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games as a road underdog. I see quite a bit of 7.5s out there. So when you bet this or any favorite that's favored by 3 or 3.5 or 7.5, don't be cheap, Jordan. Buy the hook.
Buy that half point.
Saints -7, right. -125, baby.
Buy that half point. I like that pick. And also, just to add to it, just saw about an hour before we recorded this video here on a Thursday, Kendall Wright not going to play for the Titans. That is a big weapon loss for this team. So I can endorse this play. I would definitely recommend buying that half point, though. You don't want to get this line at where it's going to because it's at 7.5 at most shops. You got it 8 at a couple places. 5 Dimes has it at 9.5. Yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of that 7.5. Buy that half point. Completely endorse that one. Going over to my play, I'm going with a little bit of Sunday night football action here. A little bit of NFC East action between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are coming off their bye. And it would not surprise me one bit. Now, taking away their game against Carolina, obviously, with Carolina is a very tough defense. But before that game, right before their bye, they looked like they were actually possibly getting things together. And it would be just like a Chip Kelly team here to get things together on the bye week and start to play potentially like the team that we saw, or at least we thought we'd see in the offseason. And I think at a 2.5 point favorite here, despite the fact that they are on the road in Jerry World, the Cowboys have not been great. They've lost their last 5 games straight up. They're 1-4 against the spread in that time span. And the Eagles have actually won their last 2 trips to Jerry World. So I think that Sam Bradford could potentially have a good game here against this weaker Dallas Cowboys defense. And as we know, Matt Castle is still starting, as far as I know, for the Dallas Cowboys. So I think the Eagles -2.5 are the play here on the road. What say you about the Eagles laying points on the road?
I would absolutely agree with you. It just sounds like such a freaking square play because
It
you
does.
look at. I mean, I mean, the public's going to love that. I mean, they're going to lick that up. I mean, the Eagles going to Dallas. I mean, Dallas obviously with Romo and Brian, and they've just been a mess. And you say to yourself, I mean, it would be just like I just can't imagine that this Eagles team is not going to round into form. I just can't fathom it.
Yep.
And I actually think that Bradford is going to get better and better. So yeah, I like the play. I'm just a little bit reluctant with the line. I mean, I think the line should actually be more like 4.5. But yeah, sure, why not? -2.5.
It
Absolutely.
does smell like a trap, but you know what? Sometimes the too good to be true play is still true, and sometimes square plays are the right play. It just depends on the situation. And after a bye week, I mean, especially after coming off that tough game against the Seahawks, that which they still lost, but they did cover. I just can't see Dallas playing that well again here, even at home. I think Philadelphia coming off that rest here is probably a good play here.
And
But
and
that'll
and
do
you,
it. That go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, you know what? I think what happens is when you've been around the block too many times, you start to look at everything with a jaundiced eye as we're
Yeah.
looking at this, and I think a lot of times that will help us. But in situations like this, sometimes you're reluctant to take the plunge, and in fact, you should do so. So I'm with you, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are trap plays there. There are definitely, like just finishing up this conversation. There are road favorites that I think are trap plays this weekend, and I think maybe Green Bay and Carolina could be one of them. They're laying 2.5 points on the road. There are Denver laying 5 points in Indianapolis is a little bit questionable. I think that line's gone up, but I think of the road favorites, I think the Eagles are definitely the best of the road favorites this week. But that'll do it for Swinging Johnson and I here on the spread picks. Make sure you check out our plays on our two best bets here on the total side of things here for week number 9. A little bit of a shorter slate. A lot of teams on bye this week, just like there were last week. So pick wisely, and as always, best of luck to you on all of your NFL picks this week.